Hey guys, Brandon here with theCommandZone.com. Joining me is Dylan and John, two of our infamous EDH players down here in the SoCal League. We have an interesting general today to preview for you. Damia, Stage of Stone. She's 7 to play, 4 colorless, green, blue, and black. She says Deathtouch, skip your draw step, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have fewer than 7 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to your difference.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so we're just gonna run her down and see what she sounds like.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess we'll start with her abilities. We'll talk about what's relevant and what's not, and how it's going to affect gameplay and board state. So first is Deathtouch. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 2. I don't think it's that relevant.
Yeah. I mean, Deathtouch is sometimes relevant. Like if they're swinging at you with a Primeval Titan, and you're like, well, I can always cast my General again. But like, you know, I have a Bajuka Bog in my hand and I can get rid of their, pesky Primeval Titan, I'll probably take that. Or if they're swinging at you with a Kozilek and you wanted to stop it, that's somewhat relevant. It always makes them think twice, whoever's playing with.
Yeah,
right.
It's a little intimidating.
Really get rid of this really sweet creature that I have on the board.
But still slightly, I mean, here's the thing though. The reason to me why it's not relevant is that if Damia is not on the board, your deck peters out. Basically, I mean, this obviously, if you build a deck, it's going to run based on dumping your hand every turn and replenishing it during your upkeep. So if she's not on the board, you're gonna have a problem because
I suppose
you're gonna have 1 card then probably. So
it depends on how we build the deck, of course.
Right.
So we'll get into that. Let's talk about the second step, our second ability, skipping your draw step.
Skipping your draw step
is a con, I think.
It's a con, but her next ability, I think, plays to the pro of that. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have fewer than 7 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Now, when I first read the card, I thought it was your end step, which is a little better, I think. But needless to say, you're definitely drawing quite a few cards a turn if you can dump your hand. So I think I love this general, and I think this is my first general that I'm gonna build with the new commanders.
Okay.
It's gonna be lots of ramp, lots of cool stuff to play.
Right. I mean, it is in the best 3 colors.
Yeah.
Very strong.
So,
arguably the best.
Not arguably, no, the 3 best. we'll talk about that later. The 3 best colors. Yeah, definitely.
We've got ramp in green, of course.
Right.
Blue has lots of good draw to make up for the fact that you can't draw during your draw step.
Yeah, maybe if you don't have her out, you can always draw in a couple of cool cards here and there just to kind of tighten everything up.
You've got counters and all kinds of crazy time stretch effects. And
it's blue.
It's blue. Enough said, right?
Yeah.
And black for all your tutors and other really ridiculous good
and removal and good removal too.
Very good removal.
And some really good creatures to go along with. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll talk about the pros.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll
she has some strong pros for sure.
Yeah. Ramp, obviously.
Yeah.
You're going to be thinning your deck out a lot. Once you start running all those ramp spells, most likely you're going to end up just drawing a lot of your spells that you need to play in order to win. So getting all the early ramp out is really effective. I mean, she is kind of expensive, so you want to play her as quickly as possible.
Right. No, I think actually ramp maybe is not as relevant in this deck because you have the draw abilities of blue, you have the draw abilities of black, you have just all this draw which lets you draw into land. You may consider running less ramp, although if it were me, I'd always try and fit those necessary pieces in, those cultivates and Kodama's reaches.
On the contrary, though, I think that having a lot of ramp is good because if you're using your ramp spells early, and when I played Ward or other decks that had ramp but no draw and nothing that I can just play 1 turn and start drawing, having her right there in the command zone, being able to play her like as soon as you have enough mana, and not worrying about, oh god, I hope I hit my Phyrexian Arena, or I hope I hit my Harmonize or something. You can play her and not even worried about that. So you can dump your early ramp, have her out turn 7, and then, or even earlier, and then just completely fill your hand, and then you're on a roll.
Yeah. I agree with Dylan. I think draw is important, but that's the general's purpose anyway. So you're going to get that anyway. So having her out on the board and keeping her on the board is probably going to be a priority of yours, because you really don't want to end up with 1 or 2 cards in your hand.
And she's expensive, so we want to keep her around. We want to make sure she's used. If your deck is based around her ability, you've got to realize you're paying for a very expensive ability.
Right, exactly.
Of course, you have blue to counter, and you have black to kind of protect. So
to kind of control the board a little bit better.
Something like a Lethal Vapors in this deck could be very silly, once you get her out and just lock it down with people's inability to play. Their creature spells could be a lot of fun. You've got a lot of control magic with blue. A lot of ways to really mess with the board state.
Yeah, I mean, if you're drawing 4 or 5 cards a turn, black is going to be there to tutor up all your stuff. Blue will be there to tutor up all your stuff, and green is also going to be there to tutor up all your stuff. So it's a really good, strong general, and she's going to see a ton of play. I think.
Yeah.
She's a little expensive for my taste. I like a general that's a little bit cheaper, but she's very good. Damia is very good.
If you play the deck fast, expect to continue to play the deck fast,
right?
Because she's going to get you back into those spells.
Yeah, I mean, but this is definitely not a general for infinite combo. I think this is much more of a general with a very strong base of cards that allow you to just go off.
Yeah, every card in your deck is going to do something to affect the board. Every single card, because as soon as you play something, it's going to be one thing after another, and then you get to refill your hand next turn.
Yeah, I can see this deck just getting big really quickly and controlling the board state. Everybody's boards. Right.
If you don't have it, you're going to find it with those colors.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So you really, you really have a good set of colors to work from.
So we talked about the pros a little bit, and some of the cons. I think the most obvious one is I would like her to be a little bit more inexpensive because she is a kind of expensive general. I mean, she's definitely 7.
Right.
I mean, like
and she's a 4/4.
Right. A 4/4 for 7.
I'd like her to be a 6/6 because I think we all know power and toughness really isn't relevant to most generals.
Yeah.
So for 7, I would like a little bit more out of her. But I probably won't attack with her anyway if I am playing the deck.
Right. Yeah. I'll probably hold her back as well.
Yeah. You don't want her to to leave the board. You're gonna protect her.
Yeah. If they have like a condemn or something, you don't want to run right into that, and that'll just be awful.
Utility creature at her finest, I think, is kind of how we can look at this one.
Just keep her back, keep her well
protected. She's the epitome of the 3 colors combined. Refill your hand. It's what those 3 colors or what blue and green do very well, and black is there kind of to support those other 2 colors.
Yeah.
But it's really important to know what your 2 main colors should be in a 3-color deck, and to find out how you should be playing it. I think black is going to be there just to support with a lot of tutors, while blue and green really play your whole deck out as fast as possible in order to keep your hand filled. So I think that's where she's going to be pretty strong.
And one last con maybe is skipping your draw step, which she refills your hand. She actually draws cards. She doesn't say put cards in your hand. She says draw, so you get the benefit of having the draw action occur.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a con because it does happen during your upkeep, and you have 3 or 4 other players that are going to try and kill her before it gets back to you. So most likely she probably won't be there for your upkeep, and that's kind of questionable for me. But
yeah, you're right.
It's okay.
As far as synergies go with her, we talked briefly about it earlier. That's also a pro. I mean, it's card draw, play the stuff in your hand, draw more cool stuff. So it's cool stuff plus ramp equals win.
Right.
That's pretty much the equation there.
Yeah.
And the faster you get stuff out, the higher the turnover of cards you're going to be playing, and you're just going to overwhelm your opponents, and you're going to be smacking them in the face with like Avengers Zendikar tokens or something.
And don't forget her creature type. She's a Gorgon wizard also. So I don't know how much that's going to play into your deck build, but a wizard, there are a lot of decks that are built around the creature type wizard, and I think there are a lot of cards that could go in there to help support her, her goals.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, so today we talked about Damia, Sage of Stone, and at thecommandZone.com. We hope you visit our site. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that we talk a little bit about the SoCal League. We're going to talk about this in all of our videos. So we're starting up on Season 6 of the SoCal EDH League, Southern California EDH League. And we're looking for more stores to join. So if you frequent a store or if you're a store owner, please contact us and we'll try and help you get your own league set up, or you can even join ours.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hoping to get some more stores this season too. Really expand the league and take advantage of the fact that Wizards is supporting Commander officially.
Definitely. Yeah, so June 17th, right? You're going to go to your stores June 17th. Whenever they open, you should be there to buy as many Commander sets as you want.
Definitely.
All right, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.